Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of Pints and Ports. Sorry it's been a long time coming. There's been a lot of stuff going on, but we are back now. No Joe this week. I don't think he's going to be back till probably after Christmas, but he has said he will come back, so we didn't scare him off, which is a win. Julian is here though, so we'll get started. Hi Julian.
Hello. All right. So what's on the docket for this week?
Well, at the risk of becoming completely AI obsessed, there was an article in the news. There was an article in the news yesterday or today that I wanted to discuss with you, because mostly we've crapped all over AI, and I think this could work out to be a very useful use for it. Now, I'll tell the people, just before we started doing this, I went and looked up the name of the project, which I have now forgotten. So I'm going to ask Julian if he remembers.
Daisy?
Daisy, that's it, right. So here's the deal. And there's a Sky News video clip of it as well. I don't know whether we'd get away with putting a little bit of it in as a demo. What do you think?
I could do such a thing. If you record the demo, I can I'll put it in.
Okay, yeah, cool. I'll pull it as an audio. You only need the audio. Basically, the idea is O2. Do you have O2 in America?
We do not, but we probably have some affiliates of theirs.
It's a cell phone broadcast. What are they called? Provider.
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh no, I'm well aware of who O2 is.
Yeah.
I watch enough. I watch enough British media.
Yeah, but not everybody will know. Probably everyone will know. I'm just wasting time, I guess. But yeah, they have created an artificially intelligent, air quotes, program that pretends to be an old lady and is designed entirely to waste the time of telephone scammers.
Yeah.
I think this is brilliant. I don't know, what do you think? It was just a short clip on the news earlier on, and then I pulled up a little bit more on my lunch break this afternoon, and it looks really good. The clip that I'll put in, or Julian will put in, shows it working in real time against an actual scam caller. And it seems really, really good.
I've heard of things like this and bots like this going on. None that were built or claimed to have been built by an actual service provider, like a large one. But I've watched, I subscribe to a few like scammer payback channels. I know there's a channel called Scammer Payback, but I'm using that as a category right now. And they kind of do the same thing, but they're not a bot, and they're not sponsored by, a large telecom provider. I think it's cool.
The clip shows it's basically it's like, imagine trying to talk your nan through how to, and they're like, you know how they are when they try and get you to allow remote access through a command prompt and all this.
Oh yeah.
Imagine trying to talk. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to tell this story. I should wait for Joe, but because he was involved, but it was absolutely brilliant. When I lived up in Ellesmere Port, he came up to visit me, and we were just sitting in my lounge, and the landline rang, and I answered it, and there was this guy saying that we've detected there's a problem with your computer. And I just thought, Joe is here, I'm here, we both have solid tech backgrounds, we can fuck with this guy. So I said,
I love Joe.
I said, will you just hold for a minute? Will you just hold? And so I muted the phone for a second. I was like, Joe, explain the situation. And he was like, let's do this. So so I put the call back on, and I said, "Oh no, that's terrible. I'm really worried now." And he said, "Oh no, it's not a problem. I can help you. I can help you get everything resolved." So he said, "Go to your computer," and I was like, "Well, which computer?" Every question he asked, I came up with the choices he had to pick and things. And after about 20 minutes, we obviously didn't do anything. We were just sitting on the sofa, passing the phone back and forward to each other. He was after about 20 minutes. He's like, "So have you got a command prompt line now?" And I said, "Yeah." It's the screen with the writing thing. And he's like, "Okay, so type this." So I said, "Oh, it didn't work. It's a connection error." And he said, "What do you mean it's connection error?" I said, "That's what it says." So he's got me to type it again, and then he got me
What do
to
you mean? What do I mean?
Like he got me to do an external ping to just Google, I think it was. And I said, "Oh no, sorry, there's it says no connection error again." And he said, "So is your computer connected to the internet properly?" I said, "Oh, well, I don't have the internet." And he was
It'd be
and
terrific.
he was furious.
It'd be great if you had like a remote VM somewhere running like Windows ME.
Oh yeah.
And have them like remote into that thing and just, like start configuring the box as they're in it. Really fuck with them.
Make that work. But yeah. So he said, "Well, what even do you, what," he was like, he fully lost his shit in the end. He's like, "Why have you even got a computer?" And I was like, "Oh, have you heard of solitaire?" And then he just hung up. I think we kept him on the phone for 45 minutes. It was fantastic.
Oh man, do you remember soundboards back in the late 90s, early 2000s?
What, like where you just had the little clips?
Yeah, of like celebrities and stuff. They were
Yeah. I've still got some on my phone, I think. I have a soundboard folder.
Yeah. So they were most often used for prank calls.
Yes. Yeah, I remember.
So I used to have one of those up for telemarketers, which is bad. Well, it's not bad. You should be doing this to telemarketers, but I was a telemarketer at one point in time in my high school career. And
but were you a cold caller or a requested caller?
I was what you would call a lukewarm caller. I called our own customers and tried to get them to upgrade. They made good money.
That's like
for a high schooler, it was terrific money. It was a shit job and you're doing a shitty thing. But regardless,
it's slightly better. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's slightly better than just randomly phoning people and being like, "Buy our shit." Yeah. If they're already with you, they kind of
are.
They know it's coming. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I this was such bad practice, but on my old like Pentium 3 machine back in the day, excuse me, I never turned it off, but I always had soundboards up, and I think I bookmarked a few. So whenever I got a telemarketer or something, I would just run to my desk real quick and just start. And it was always the Arnold Schwarzenegger soundboard. And that usually would waste like 10-ish minutes of their time. But generally speaking, like that was 10 minutes of entertainment that I wouldn't have had otherwise if it weren't for these soundboards. So you're losing that element, like the creative element of these scam calls, but at least it's more convenient.
Wait, you could just record it. I mean, you could program it to say whatever you want, couldn't you? Yeah. But yeah,
I mean, technically,
the thing,
if it's a trained model, I don't know how much you can affect the responses live. Because at one point, it's just like a text to speech, right? Like you want the the generative voices or the generative model controlling the voice to respond automatically. Hopefully it was trained to be like quite a bit of a troll.
Well, I'll send you the clip as well, and well, you'll see it when I send it to you to put in the video. But it's like I said, it really sounds like someone trying to explain to their nan how to do like telnet commands. So she's saying, "Oh, I'm doing the best I can, dear," and stuff like this. And it's a good voice as well. I mean, I spotted that it was an AI voice because, like,
they're easy,
that sort of thing, and I did. Yeah, but they are easy. I think they are, but other people don't recognize. As soon as there's a thing now in the UK, I don't know whether it's becoming a thing in the States yet. If you phone a restaurant to book a table, like in the past, a lot of them now have digital concierge, they call them, and it's it's a chatbot. It's a chatbot with access to the booking system.
Hello, TGI Fridays. Yes, I am your digital concierge.
Pretty much. I can't wait till I've got proper a decent internet connection down here, because I could we could do that live now and I could show you. But yeah, I know a lot of people who have phoned the same restaurants as me and not noticed that it's not a real person, because it gives the responses. It only falls down really if something unexpected happens. It's not difficult to book a table. Do you remember the Google thing? This was years ago. I don't really know what happened to it. It was Google's chat thing. What is it called? The Google Assistant. What's it called?
Gemini?
Gemini. It was beta Gemini, and the guy, it was like, not CES, but one of those things, they were demoing it, and he said, "Hey, Gemini, call and book a table for me here," and it did it. And they were saying, "Oh, this is what's coming to Google Assistant," and as far as I know, it has not yet come to Google Assistant. This was a long time ago.
You know why? The restaurant knew beforehand that Google was calling.
Oh, of course they did. Of course they did. But even if it shouldn't be that difficult to do now.
I mean, do you really need it? Like, instead of having generative AI do that bullshit for you, have tools made to make it easier for businesses to take reservations, like via an app, or like OpenTable, or Yelp does it through OpenTable. But, if you had a framework for any restaurant to easily open up a website, plug that shit in, make it easy. Like, the same amount of steps it is to tell your AI, quote unquote, to book a fucking table for you, just like fire up an app, choose a time, and like go. Because I'm pretty sure the AI is not going to know your schedule unless like you keep a really detailed calendar or something that it's synced to live. Like, if there's no open seating, for example, on the time that you want, like alternative options, being able to respond to that and accurately make a reservation should you want probably isn't something that your assistant can do.
No, I mean, Amazon keep promising more AI integration with Alexa.
Oh, please, God, no.
And that's not coming either. It's just another thing that keeps getting pushed back and pushed back. But yeah, with the Daisy thing, I just thought it was worth giving a shout out, because it's not. But yeah, it just seems like a cool thing for them to do. Obviously, there are no good deeds when it comes to big corporations, but yeah, I think it's a cool use for AI, and anything that can keep scammers wasting their time is good.
I mean, this is one of, should we call this a novel use case?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it certainly is, but it's nice that the novelty thing might actually help some people.
I definitely think the tech behind it and refining it will make it easier to do things in the future. especially if you have really talented designers behind the architecture of how these things are supposed to kind of work, because you need some kind of interfacing, be it via typing to the thing, voice. But in terms of accessibility, that would be huge. Like those that can't talk, wanting to be able to carry on a conversation or something like that, that'd be terrific. Oh, crap. That just got Neuralink. To like wiggle into my mind for some reason.
Somebody said to me the other day, are you excited about what Elon's done with the artificial sight? And I was like, have you actually looked into it? Yeah, it worked, but for about 6 weeks, and now it's fucked.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's Elon Musk tech. Did you think it was gonna go well? So I was kind of envisioning, like, if this type of conversational tech were around, it would dramatically make so many things easier, not just like this tiny little novel use case, but it's always going to be used for malicious purposes. But something like someone suffering from ALS, like my father actually passed of ALS, and it would have been nice for him to be able to communicate, because he could with his eyes, and like whatever could barely squeeze through his vocal cords. But there are people that are mute that may want a voice, you know? Some deaf people. It'd be good.
Yeah. And if you had a learning engine, you found out you had something degenerative and worked with it through the years when you were more able, it would become personalized to you. You could have it train itself on your facial expressions, eye movements, that kind of thing.
Oh, bruv. This is a Black Mirror episode. It literally was.
Black Mirror, is it good?
I mean, it's okay. I like some episodes. Others are, it's an anthology of stories, right? Kind of like the Twilight Zone or.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah. Oh God. But I wouldn't do for an actual Are You Afraid of the Dark remake that's like faithful to the feel. Ugh, that'd be great. Like, it's good, but I can't watch all of them. But besides the case, like, so it was a story about a woman who was pregnant and lost her husband. The actress was Haley Atwell. I can't for the life of me remember his name. I used to remember it, but he's that ginger, tall kid that was in he had that bit part in Star Wars.
You're giving me physical attributes to work with, which isn't particularly helpful.
He was in Star Wars. The newer ones, the 7 through 9 or 8. I think he was in all 3. I can't remember it. I'm too lazy to pull it up on IMDb right now, but he died and she had a robot made of him, and it used data from his socials, his emails, all this stuff, and it basically became a replica of him. And one of the things is it was programmed to not want to die. But it really couldn't feel like all the responses or whatnot like feel genuine, but they were just based off of an algorithm still, right? And it's a story of like her missing him so much. She had him made into a robot, and she couldn't cope with like the fact that it's not real, but it feels real.
Yeah, I imagine that would fuck you up. Do you know that storyline, maybe not originally, but certainly before Black Mirror, came from one of the legacy Star Wars books?
Oh yeah. I mean, I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised.
Same sort of thing. The guy got the space equivalent of ALS or whatever, and she had him encased in a droid, And as he degenerated, the droid learned from him and picked up. And then like he died 5 years ago and she didn't even know. But he was still like inside this thing. But it had become, to all intents and purposes, him.
I
It's quite
mean,
deep for Star Wars, actually.
given enough time, man, maybe.
Yeah. Well, like, you stick with old people for a sec. How would it be? I mean, I'm a proponent of giving Alexas to old people just for things like they can call you as long as they can still say your name. Alexa doesn't care if you ask it the time 27 times in, or when is so-and-so coming for dinner or whatever. But like dementia AI, what do we think of that as a concept? The same sort of deal as Alexa, but an AI trained around dealing with these symptoms of onset dementia, keeping an eye on that person and being able to, for want of a better word, understand what the person needs and wants from, I don't know. It's just an idea I came up with then, so it needs some ironing out, but as another alternative use, perhaps.
Definitely not a bad idea, but so I've dealt with dementia like all my life in terms of like family members who have had it. And one of the things is they forget some things. So if you had an assistant like Alexa, for example, that does kind of help them through some things, what's going to happen when they forget that Alexa's a thing? And now there's just this thing that's always listening.
I would think, see, this opens up. Oh, I remembered something else I wanted to talk to you about that's not this related. But yeah, I think, again, this opens up moral issues and such, but why not have it be one of the people that they usually do remember?
Because of moral issues.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. I know people who work in care, and for a while, I don't know if it's the same now, but they were told when people with dementia start to lose their awareness, and they're saying, "Oh, when's my wife coming to see me?" And she's been dead for 10 years. They're like, "She's dead. She's been dead for 10 years," and then they're getting all distressed and because this is news to them essentially. But I don't understand why at that point at the end time, why don't you just go, "Oh, she'll be in to see you tomorrow," and then they'll be like, "Okay, cool."
So I think there's a line between placating an episode and basically faking. Because if you were just trying to soothe somebody and basically like not break bad news to them, because this episode will subside and tomorrow will be a different day and things like that, it'll technically be kind of like the same day almost. I think there's a difference between that and straight up impersonating someone, because you're not saying like, if you resemble it enough, like, "I am your wife, I'm here right now," like you're not doing that. You're just like telling a little white fib to mitigate distress that's unneeded. But we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah, I see the difference.
Yeah, and in terms of like long-term mental health of those with mental degenerative conditions, like we don't know if any of these approaches right now help. Like it could. Maybe you're right. Maybe having, a clone of someone that's always there might actually help them considerably. We don't know.
See, the thing is, like, obviously I can only, as anybody can only look at it from your own perspective. And I think that would be comforting. If say I only remember my friend Alan and I think I'm still 21 when I'm 96 and he's probably dead. But if I can talk to him and I think it's him, I think that's probably going to be cool, no?
Again, that's a really good perspective. Like I'm not saying you're wrong. Like I actually share that. I just think that, especially with that level of technology, it's always going to be used for bad. I've worked in tech for so long, just to know. But like,
yeah.
When my grandpa was like edging towards his final years, he couldn't recognize my father, but he thought that I was my dad at that age because I'm a splitting image from my dad. So I would placate it. Like, I would just be like, oh, okay. Instead of dad, grandpa rather, I would just call him dad and just, let him know some things and have a conversation with him. And tomorrow it might be different. Tomorrow he might remember me, things like that. Like, I get it. I totally do. It would be great if we had more research into the area and bring people back from dementia. Like, breakthroughs in that area would be awesome.
People imagine they can imagine other people's perspectives, but they can't, because that's not, unless you've been there, you don't know.
And it'll never be on. Like, you are a different person with a completely different series of experiences. One minor thing will change that perspective. You can share similar experiences and kind of understand the perspective, but you'll never be able to like fully understand them. Like, it's just drastically different. It's okay to admit that too. Like, you don't get it. It's fine.
I read a thing years ago from a psychology journal, and the guy was arguing that empathy in its purest form is bunk, because his argument was that as you can't truly understand how somebody else is feeling because of you haven't been through their entire set of life experiences. You may have experienced something similar, but that doesn't mean it made you feel the same way as they feel. Or his argument was that all empathy is a attuned or less attuned form of both self-deception and deception of the person you're talking to.
Okay, well, I don't know this. I would love to see his background and how he came to this, but I will say that taking anything in its purest form is not what's functional, and it's not what's practiced. Nothing is practiced in its purest form. And like, cool, if that happens to be true, all right, you're still a dick. Because like, having empathy, at least those that are described as empathetic to something, means they're probably not a dick, and they're trying to understand a situation, an emotion, a person, a perspective, and be positive or a positive influence with that.
I don't think it was a long time ago. I think probably 10 or 15 years ago I read it. But what he wasn't suggesting that you shouldn't try. He was just trying to look at the idea of empathy like in a more abstract way, I guess.
Okay, well, if you want to look at it in an abstract way, nothing is selfless. No action is.
Oh no, there are no no. For the most basic level, they proved that on Friends.
Yeah, I love that episode. I'm donating money so that you can be noticed. Does it make you feel good? Yes. That's selfish. Shit.
Damn
it. I let this thing bite me. Well, did it? Oh yeah, it was a bee sting. I let this bee sting me. Well, it ended up dying, right?
Yeah.
Take everything in its purest form. Not gonna really like the outcome of that. But like, pointing it out in that kind of way is just, it's like, outside is the leading cause of death. A lot of deaths happen outside. I'm not telling you not to leave your house, but just know that like outside you have more of a chance of dying. Like, what the fuck?
I'll have to try and find it. I'll see. See who it was. Maybe someone who's watching the video will remember it, and then they can put it in the comment section, and then, because I'll have forgotten about it tomorrow, so I'm not going to look it up.
I'm not going to look it up because I don't care. Because I believe at least in the philosophy of empathy, and I don't need some idiot telling me otherwise. Because you know what? Even if at the end of the day, there's no such thing as true empathy, fuck it. Don't dissuade anyone from trying to do it. Or like trying to understand other people around them, you fucking cock. Pretentious little cunt. That's the exact same principle as no selfless action is truly selfless. Like, for the most part, we all get it. Like, it makes us feel good. It feeds that little center of our brain, so we continue to do it. The motivations behind it might not be like 100% pure, but it's also not like 100% tainted either. It's not manipulation. It's a good feeling. That reminds me of like a high school buddy that I had. He was a really tall kid. I think we were juniors, and I hung out with him on a Thursday, and I came in on a Monday, and we had a 7:30 a.m. class together, and the dude was in a cast. I'm like, dude, what the fuck happened? Like, he had like a full on cast on his leg, and probably like wrapped around his hip because he moved like so rigidly. Like, what happened to you, dude? He's like, I don't know. I was walking and then I felt pain. I'm like, what? It's like, I was walking. What the shit? Walking is a liability now? He's like, I guess if you're like 6'3". And imagine that, a 17-year-old at 6'3".
I had, there's a guy, he's a good friend of mine when we were in the band. He used to come along and help carry and things. And he was, I think he's 6'9". I think he watches these actually. So hi, Bully, if you're watching. But yeah,
fucking
6'9".
unit. I didn't know humans come in 6'9". Go to Asia, man. That's fucking Godzilla size.
But my dad used to have this like 300-year-old cottage, and he was never there during the week. He only ever came back at the weekends. And one of the pubs we used to play in on a regular basis was like 10 minutes walk from his place. So we'd go there on a Tuesday night, finish up, and then just go and crash at his place. But because the house was so old, like the door was only, well, I had to duck to go. I'm between 6 and 6'1". I had to duck to go through this door. So Bully was like, the door frame came up to below his chin, like just above his Adam's apple. So we're walking back. We're walking back with all the guitars and amps one day, and it started to piss down with rain, like properly raining. So we're running along. I ran up, I opened the door and like ducked in. The other guys like ducked in as well, and Bully's coming up with this guitar on his back, and the guy behind him said, "Mind your head," and he turned because he'd called him, and he just ran, like the side of his head just smashed into the brickwork, and he just went down like a sack of spuds.
Fuck off.
We had to carry him in from the... Like, he was out cold, like fully out cold.
I mean, when you're 6'9", like, that's not a human size. Like, hold on. I'm looking this up. Okay. John 117, Master Chief himself, fictional character, a Spartan augmented, is 6 foot and 9.8 inches tall. And he was considered like the pinnacle of that time's engineering. You're a dude barely shorter than him by 0.8 inches on a bad day.
Yeah, there's like NBA players and guys in the WWE who are taller than that.
Yeah, but they're not human. They're athletes. They're not human. At least not for the first 30 years of their life. After that, they're very
Then
human.
they're broken.
Oh yeah. Like at 6'9", can you
Subhuman,
ride
bro.
roller coasters comfortably? Because like I'm a comfy 5'8", and like, you know, sometimes like even I flinch when my hands are waving in the air on a roller coaster. When you're 6'9", like fuck all, you might hit that shit. You can start riding the roller coasters earlier than I can, but I ride it comfortably all through my life now.
Yeah, you're never going to be too tall for the thing.
Do the arm restraints, like when that safety thing comes down and like the Japanese voice stops like yelling at you about like keeping your arms inside the ride at all times? Like, does that fit over dude 6'9"?
We went to theme parks a couple of times. I don't remember him being refused the ride at all, but
who's gonna refuse him?
Yeah.
Like you're tall enough to clean the top of my fridge, but you would have to bend over, you know? Like that's, I'm not gonna say no to you. It might not be safe for you, but I ain't saying no.
You're tall enough to make your own decisions.
At that point, like the dude that's just like
How we doing for
fiddling
time?
with that little silver control panel with the red and green light, it's just like, do you think you can go on this ride? Okay, man. It's right there. Let me know if you need me to call someone to help you, because I ain't helping you. Like, fuck, that is tall. That's just proper tall. Wait, wait, hold on. Online, isn't that what like it says how tall Simon is?
I don't think Simon's 6'10" online.
Simon, I'm gonna go for the AI answer. Hold on, Simon Whistler height. Oh no! It's getting back to reality a bit. It's not right, but it's back to reality. He's 6'5", apparently, according to Automagic AI responses.
I think he said he's less than 6.
I have edited 5 videos now where he has explicitly stated his height. So I have committed that shit to memory.
And he must be, he's probably a little less than 5'11", because if you're 5'11", you usually say you're 6, don't you?
I mean, I'm 5'8". I never say I'm 5'9". I mean, not anymore. When I used to have spiky hair, I used to say I was 5'9". He's bald. He doesn't have spiky hair.
In the band, apart from the bass player, I was the shortest person in our group of people who hung out together.
What did the fucking unit play? Don't tell me he was lead vocals.
No, he was just a friend of the band. He used to just come to the gigs and stuff with us, and
it was like a
make sure
roadie.
people didn't steal our shit, you know? Yeah. I didn't want to say because he watches, but you said it on me.
Like, hey bro, can you help me carry this bass in? Not bass guitar, fucking bass, because you are 3 times taller than this classical stringed instrument.
He's 6'9". My friend Ash, he's the guy who edited the cooking videos for me. I think he's 6'4". He's 6'4". My friend Alan, the guitarist and lead singer, he's 6'2". So yeah, we always go out together, and I was almost nearly the shortest person in the group at 6'1", which is weird.
Bro, I grew up in like a predominantly Caucasian area, and I played sports. I was the shortest kid on every sports team. That might have been a new feeling for you, but that is long time for me. In college, I used to drive an Acura Integra. It's this tiny little coupe that's a hatchback. And my friends were like 6'2", big ass football players and shit. And they had to cram into this tiny ass vehicle every time we went anywhere. And at least amongst my group of friends, we had the big kid rule. The biggest kid always gets shotgun. And I was the driver. So between them, it's like, y'all fucking figure it out. The shortest dude is getting driver's seat.
I think personally, I would sit behind you.
Yeah, that's the smartest option for a tall guy in a hatchback.
That's where the space is at, behind the short driver.
Right. But like, because like most of my friends were like bigger dudes, if we got in a car accident, I'm the only one walking away from that.
Not if one of them's sitting behind you with a nice seatbelt on, you're not.
No, yeah, no, like all of them, like their chins were like being pressed up by their knees. Like, y'all ain't making out of this. They were some brave motherfuckers getting in a car with me. Dude, did I tell you? Oh, I probably haven't told you. So, you know how neurotic I am about proofing my own videos.
Yeah.
So, especially with a rush job, I'll proof like at least the audio or curse words that are within like the first minute or some shit like that while I'm dropping my kid off at school. And that's a drive. That's a 15-minute drive there and a 15-minute drive back. So at 30 minutes, I can easily proof a blaze.
Man,
or at least, you know, the audio. So one day I had my windows rolled down. This was like a month and a half ago, I think. My windows were rolled down. Typically on my side of town at that hour in the morning, it's other parents like me in their late 30s, early 40s, dropping their kids off at school, or people trying to get to the train station. I'm listening to the episode that I edited, and then I see like movement to my left, and it doesn't look like a child in a car seat. It looks like someone from the driver's side. Like, this is in my periph. So I look over, and it's this dude like, he's like asked me to roll my window down because my window is cracked. So I roll it all the way down. He's like, "Is that a new blaze?" I'm like, yeah. I fuck. I didn't think that anyone else really watched them in this area, but okay.
The only thing that's happened to me like that, my local kebab shop, they love Simon. They just have him on all the time. So occasionally I'll be standing at the kebab shop and there'll be a brain blaze on that I wrote. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But I was on the train coming back from, I can't remember, I think I was coming back from London. And somebody was watching the Eurofighter Typhoon video from Mega Projects. And I was like, hey, I wrote that. What? So I wrote that video and he was like, no, you fucking didn't. I was like, I've got the script on my phone, dude. There it is.
And by the way, because of Kevin's recent goal of either to break him or get him to say cock as many times as humanly possible in 25 minutes, I have counted. I have the actual number, at least for 2024, how many times Simon Whistler in a cut and edited video has ever said cock. It is not insignificant. It's like someone from my side of town or my part of the country saying like. That's how much he says cock or has said cock in 2024.
You could probably search that on Trello.
No, because the thing is what's in the script is different from what he says.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Because in a particular script where Simon screams, "Look at my cock," he 3x'd the amount of cocks that was in the script.
I always think, what the fuck are the people in the office upstairs thinking?
Well, the thing is his entire office is made out of brick. I'm surprised that he could hear. Well, not that surprised, but like he's in a basement in Europe. That shit is made out of concrete and brick. You're in a concrete basement right now.
Yeah, and I can hear people moving furniture upstairs.
Wait, really?
If they're moving furniture upstairs. Yeah, for sure. They haven't got a carpet up there, so it scrapes, so you hear it.
Oh. Yeah, the vibrations will get through.
I think we're going to have to pull this one to a close.
Yes, we shall. You want to play us out?
Sure. Thanks for joining us. It went weird again, but I promise next time we record, I won't mention AI at all, because I actually have the other things that I remembered that I wanted to talk about in this one. So we'll use those.
What were
Tune in,
they?
I'll send them to you. I'll text you.
You don't want to give them a preview?
No, I haven't decided yet, and people hold me to shit when I do that.
Yeah, fuck the audience.
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will see you next time.
Bye.